So Mitt Romney is running for U.S. Senate in Utah. This is probably the 18th state that he's lived in now. But I want to go back and look at his unapologetic takedown of Donald Trump.
If we Republicans choose Donald Trump as our nominee, the prospects for a safe and prosperous future are greatly diminished. If Donald Trump's plans were ever implemented, the country would sink into prolonged recession. Isn't he a huge business success? Doesn't he know what he's talking about? No, he isn't. And no, he doesn't. A business genius, he is not. Mr. Trump's bombast is already alarming our allies. Let ISIS take out Assad, he said, and then we can pick up the remnants. This recklessness is recklessness in the extreme. Now, Donald Trump tells us that he is very, very smart. I'm afraid that when it comes to foreign policy, he is very, very not smart. Donald Trump lacks the temperament to be president. After all, this is an individual who mocked a disabled reporter. Donald Trump says he admires Vladimir Putin. At the same time, he's called George W. Bush a liar. That is a twisted example of evil trumping good. There's a dark irony in his boasts of his sexual exploits during the Vietnam War, while at the same time, John McCain, whom he has mocked, was imprisoned and tortured. Dishonesty is Donald Trump's hallmark. His imagination must not be married to real power. Think of Donald Trump's personal qualities: the bullying, the greed, the showing off, the misogyny, the absurd third-grade theatrics. Now, Mr. Trump relishes any poll that reflects what he thinks of himself. But polls are also saying that he will lose to Hillary Clinton. Of course, a Trump nomination enables her victory. There's plenty of evidence that Mr. Trump is a con man, a fake. Mr. Trump has changed his positions not just over the years, but over the course of the campaign. And on the Ku Klux Klan daily for 3 days in a row. I predict that there are more bombshells in his tax returns. I predict that he told the New York Times that his immigration talk is just that, talk. He has too much to hide. Mr. Trump is directing our anger for less than noble purposes. He creates scapegoats of Muslims and Mexican immigrants. This is the very brand of anger that has led other nations into the abyss. Donald Trump is a phony, a fraud. His promises are as worthless as a degree from Trump University. This is a time for choosing. He has neither the temperament nor the judgment to be president. His personal qualities would mean that America would cease to be a shining city on a hill.
So that was wild to watch. Man, was that bizarre. Most of that stuff he was right. Obviously, he was wrong when he was like, he's going to lose to Hillary. So much for that prediction there, Mitt. But everything else is true. The guy, Donald Trump, his businesses went bankrupt 6 times. He's not a great businessman. His daddy left him hundreds of millions of dollars. So he was kind of born with a silver spoon in his mouth, and he had all the money in the world to play with. And he's created this persona of being the super competent businessman when he's really an idiot. So that, plus the fact that he flip-flops on fucking everything and he contradicts himself. But to be fair, Mitt Romney does the same fucking thing. And that leads me to the next point. Why am I showing you this old-ass video? Well, take a look at what just happened. Mitt Romney decided to run for Senate, and Trump tweeted, "Mitt Romney has announced he is running for the Senate from the wonderful state of Utah. He will make a great senator and worthy of success worthy successor to Orrin Hatch, and has my full support and endorsement." And then Mitt Romney said, "Thank you, Mr. President, for the support. I hope that over the course of the campaign, I also earn the support and endorsement of the people of Utah." What happened? You thought he was the worst fucking person ever. You called him a phony, a fraud, and now you're like, thanks for the endorsement. I love it. In fact, Mitt Romney said he would reject Donald Trump's endorsement. And he went from rejecting Trump's endorsement to saying, thank you, Mr. President. So, why am I doing this segment? I'm doing this segment because this show, it's all kabuki theater, man. They don't believe a goddamn word of anything that they're saying. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. You think Mitt Romney believes in anything? You think he has a principled stance on the various issues of the day? You think he's thought seriously about the substantive issues that affect regular people's lives? You think Donald Trump has a core and a fundamental ideology? Donald Trump is vapid. He's vacuous. He's empty. He's an empty vessel that the establishment is and the establishment is controlling him. These guys don't believe anything. It's all about narcissism and self-aggrandizement. They're in the elite class and they want honor and integrity. But instead of doing the hard work to deserve the honor and integrity by fighting for the people, what they're doing is they're trying to get their name out there more and puff up their own ego and do it in the most brazenly transparent way imaginable, to the point where it doesn't matter that it wasn't even, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago or whatever it was, that Mitt Romney said this shit about Donald Trump, and now all of a sudden he loves the guy. Donald Trump did the same thing, by the way. Oh, Mitt Romney's stupid. And then now he's like, Mitt would make a great senator. Do you guys, they don't realize that hypocrisy and contradictions are a thing. They don't realize that there's a record of the shit they said. Because they don't care. They really don't care. And this, listen, the country is run by people who are corrupted. That's a fact. They take a tremendous amount of big money from corporations and rich people. But also, there are many people who run for office. They're not smart. Mitt Romney is not an intelligent person. Mitt Romney is a dumbass. Donald Trump is a dumbass. Consistency is not on the agenda. So now you see this. If you're a voter in Utah, or you're a voter in the country for Donald Trump, you have to know that you can't take a word they fucking say seriously. Because they flip-flop like a fish fresh out of water. That's all they do. So you know you can't trust them, 100%. So don't be a fucking cultist. Don't be in a cult. They're right because I like them no matter what. They like how they make me feel and how they look and their aura and their persona. What the fuck does any of that mean? Do you care about improving people's lives or do you not care about improving people's lives? Don't be a dumbass. This is it. This is all you need to know about U.S. politics. I don't think hypocrisy is this brazen and in your face in other developed nations. I don't. This is like on the next level. They act like cameras don't exist. They act like it's impossible for them to be caught in a lie or in hypocrisy or contradicting themselves. I can't. It's disheartening that we got to get involved in politics and we have to fight for the issues that matter instead of these self-aggrandizing, narcissistic assholes who just want honor and don't give a shit about the reality of the situation or the policy proposals in the process.